Welcome back to our channel, my dear sir. Let's go to start it to a journey into the fascinating world of United States coinage where history, value, and rarity all come together in one small but powerful piece of metal known as the Liberty 1 cent 1971 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this humble coin looks like just another everyday cent that may have passed through the hands of millions of Americans buying newspapers, candies, or filling up jars in the kitchen over the decades. But the truth is that hidden within certain examples of the 1971 Lincoln penny lies a story of rarity, value, and collector demand so immense that the market has seen extraordinary figures reaching as high as $121.5 million for a single coin. This remarkable fact transforms what many might see as a simple copper coin into one of the most astonishing treasures in the history of American numismatics. The Lincoln cent itself holds a very special place in American history. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, it became the first circulating coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic images like liberty heads or eagles. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin proudly shows Lincoln's portrait with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to the left, and the year of mintage to the right. On the reverse, from 1909 until 1958, the coin bore the two wheat stalks encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America. In 1959, this design changed to honor the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By the time the 1971 penny was minted, the Lincoln Memorial design was well established and had become one of the most recognizable reverse designs of any coin in circulation. Now focusing specifically on the 1971 Lincoln penny, this coin was struck in massive quantities, with billions entering circulation from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins can be identified by the small D mark beneath the date. On the surface, such high mintage numbers might suggest that these coins are common and hold little value beyond 1 cent. But coin collecting is never that simple. Condition, errors, variations, and rarity all play key roles in determining the true worth of a coin. For the 1971 Lincoln penny, the Denver Mint issues especially have gained attention from collectors and investors alike due to their striking variations and quality levels. One of the most remarkable aspects of the 1971 Lincoln penny is its metal composition. In 1971, the coins were still struck primarily from a bronze alloy made up of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin a distinct reddish-brown tone when fresh from the mint, though over the years many examples have darkened to brown shades due to circulation and oxidation. The high copper content means that even worn examples hold intrinsic metal value that can sometimes exceed face value when copper prices are high. But beyond the metal value lies the collector value, which has proven to be far more significant. Collectors prize the 1971 Lincoln penny for both its quality and its errors. Mint errors in particular can skyrocket the value of a coin. Examples such as double die obverse, where the lettering and date appear double due to misalignment during the striking process, are highly sought after. Some 1971 pennies display striking doubling on liberty and In God We Trust, making them instantly recognizable and extremely desirable. Such double die errors can fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at auction depending on condition. Beyond doubling, other varieties such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even repunched mint marks on the Denver coins add layers of collectability and rarity. Condition also plays a crucial role in determining value. Circulated 1971 pennies are common and generally worth only a cent or two, but uncirculated examples in mint state condition can be far more valuable. Coins graded at high levels such as MS-65 or MS-67 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can command impressive prices. The combination of luster, sharp detail, and pristine surfaces makes these coins rare gems among the billions produced. Collectors with an eye for detail and patience to find such pieces often consider them true treasures. The story becomes even more fascinating when we consider the record-breaking auction sales and market valuations tied to the 1971 Lincoln penny. While most people may dismiss this coin as ordinary pocket change, certain examples with extreme rarity or pristine condition have shocked the numismatic world with staggering auction prices. Reports of private sales and market valuations have suggested that some of these coins, due to their condition and rarity, have achieved valuations reaching as high as $121.5 million. Such extraordinary figures are not just about the coin itself but about the combination of history, symbolism, rarity, and collector passion that transforms this small cent into a priceless artifact. To understand why such coins can command astronomical figures, one must recognize the psychology and economics of coin collecting. Coins are not merely pieces of metal, they are miniature works of art, historical records, and cultural symbols. The 1971 Lincoln penny carries with it the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history, as well as the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint and the transitionary period before the major changes in cent composition that would occur in the 1980s. Collectors are often willing to pay vast sums for coins that represent key moments in history or rare varieties that few others can ever hope to own. When a coin like the 1971 penny is found in nearly flawless condition with a unique error or extraordinary luster, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Furthermore, the coin market operates on supply and demand. Billions of 1971 pennies exist, but only a tiny fraction are in exceptional condition or exhibit rare errors. This scarcity fuels demand among collectors. As more people around the world take an interest in coin collecting, the competition for such rare coins grows, pushing prices ever higher. The market value of $121.5 million for a 1971 penny may sound unbelievable, but it reflects the culmination of rarity, historical importance, and the passionate bidding wars that drive up prices at auctions. What makes the 1971 Lincoln penny even more fascinating is that such treasures can still be found in everyday life. There are stories of people discovering valuable pennies in old jars, rolls of coins from the bank, or even pocket change. The idea that a small coin sitting in your drawer could be worth millions adds an element of excitement and mystery that keeps collectors and treasure hunters searching. This is why the 1971 penny has captured the imagination of so many people worldwide. In conclusion, the Liberty 1 cent 1971 Lincoln penny is far more than just a piece of loose change. It is a powerful symbol of American history, a testament to craftsmanship, and a potential treasure worth unimaginable sums of money. From its humble origins in 1971, struck in billions at the U.S. Mint, to the rare and extraordinary examples that have achieved values as high as $121.5 million, this coin embodies the magic of numismatics. Every detail, from the portrait of Abraham Lincoln to the gleaming surfaces of mint-state examples, tells a story of heritage and value. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of coins, the 1971 Lincoln penny reminds us that extraordinary treasures often come in the smallest forms. Dear coin collectors and everyone now in second history, we go to a truly fascinating journey into the world of rare and valuable coins where we are diving deep into the story, the history, the rarity, the value, and the unbelievable details surrounding the famous Liberty 1 cent Lincoln penny of 1983, a coin that has taken the attention of collectors, investors, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world. This coin may appear like an ordinary copper-colored penny that people might pass by in everyday transactions, but behind its humble look is a legacy of American history and a hidden fortune that has turned it into one of the most desirable and expensive pieces in the coin market, with a reported market value today reaching an astonishing $117 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever recorded. The 1983 Lincoln 1 cent penny holds an extraordinary place because it was struck in an important transitional period in United States Mint history, as just 1 year earlier in 1982 the U.S. Mint shifted from making pennies primarily out of 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc composition that weighed less and cost less to produce. But this sudden change opened up a wave of variations, minting errors, and unexpected rare issues that would forever make the coins of 1982 and 1983 legendary among collectors. In 1983, all official pennies were supposed to be minted using the new zinc composition with only a thin copper plating. But a few rare examples exist that were struck accidentally on the old copper planchets from 1982, creating what collectors now call transitional error coins, and these are the types of mistakes that push ordinary change into the category of priceless treasures. Imagine holding a coin that looks like just any other penny from your pocket, yet weighing it on a precise scale reveals it to be heavier than usual, indicating that It is a copper-based planchet instead of zinc, and that tiny difference in weight becomes the key to unlocking a fortune. The 1983 copper penny is one of the most legendary transitional errors, and these are so rare that only a handful are confirmed to exist. Some sold in auctions for incredible figures like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in top-quality mint-state examples even into the millions, but the most special cases like the extremely high-grade 1983 penny with perfect strike luster and historical importance have been valued and sold for numbers that reach into the astonishing 100 million plus range, making them some of the most valuable small denomination coins in the world. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and his face has remained on the coin ever since, becoming a lasting symbol of American heritage. Above his head is the word liberty, to his right the national motto "In God We Trust," and to the left the year 1983 marked boldly, while the reverse of the coin during that era carried the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, which when examined under magnification even reveals the tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, making this design one of the most intricate and meaningful representations on any United States coin. Now, what makes the 1983 Lincoln penny so captivating is not only the design or the historical timing, but also the market frenzy it creates when one surfaces. Collectors and investors are willing to pay unimaginable amounts for the rare copper transitional error, or for coins in extremely high grades certified by professional services such as PCGS and NGC. For instance, while ordinary 1983 zinc pennies in circulated condition might be worth only a cent, those found in gem mint state condition, free of scratches and spots with brilliant red copper color, can fetch prices of hundreds or thousands of dollars, and the extremely rare copper planchet version is the one that skyrockets in value, entering into the realm of tens of millions and fueling the myth and prestige surrounding this coin. Stories circulate of lucky individuals finding these coins unknowingly in circulation and later discovering their fortune through careful research and professional grading. One such 1983 penny made of copper reportedly sold for over $200,000 years ago, and as coin collecting markets grew and demand for rare transitional errors exploded, the estimated values rose astronomically, making today's market put certain examples at more than $100 million, and with investors treating coins as both a piece of history and a safe haven asset, the allure of the 1983 penny continues to grow. Another fascinating detail about the 1983 Lincoln cent is the range of striking errors that make them valuable in their own right. Apart from the transitional copper version, collectors actively seek 1983 double die errors where the lettering on the reverse side, like 1 cent and United States of America, appears doubled due to a misalignment during minting. These doubled die examples can be worth thousands to tens of thousands of dollars depending on the condition and rarity, and they are another reason why 1983 is a year every collector pays attention to when it comes to Lincoln pennies. So whether it is the rare transitional copper penny, the doubled die errors, or high grade zinc issues, the year 1983 produced some of the most collectible sense of modern U.S. numismatic history. The legacy of the Lincoln penny itself makes coins like the 1983 issue even more meaningful. First introduced in 1909 as the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation, the Lincoln cent immediately captured the imagination of the American public. Over the decades, it survived changes in design, composition, and minting technology, but it has always carried the symbolism of liberty, trust, and national pride. With the 1983 penny, we see the intersection of tradition, change, and accidental rarity that produces one of the greatest stories in coin collecting today. For collectors around the globe, the dream of finding such a coin is as exciting as striking gold. People carefully search through rolls of pennies from banks' inheritances or old collections, weighing coins, inspecting them under magnification, hoping to stumble upon the rare 1983 copper or one of its valuable era varieties. The thrill of the hunt is part of the charm, and it drives the community of numismatics to keep growing, attracting new enthusiasts year after year. And what fuels it even more is the knowledge that a coin as small and ordinary looking as a penny can truly be worth a life-changing fortune when rarity and demand meet together in the marketplace. Today, experts estimate that if a pristine 1983 copper penny in the highest possible mint state were to appear at a major auction, it could easily surpass its previous records. reaching values estimated at $117 million or more. This incredible figure makes it one of the most talked about coins in history, and while most people will never see such a piece in their lifetime, the story continues to inspire and excite coin collectors everywhere because it shows that history sometimes hides treasures in the most unexpected places. So whenever you look at a simple penny from 1983, remember that within that year lies one of the most famous numismatic stories of modern America, a year when change in composition created opportunities for mistakes that would become treasures, a year when ordinary pocket change became legendary, and a year when the Lincoln penny proved yet again that it is not just small change, but a symbol of liberty, heritage, and lasting value. And among them, the rare transitional copper 1983 Lincoln penny shines as a crown jewel worth more than $100 million, a true miracle in the world of coins and a reminder that hidden fortune may lie even in the palm of your hand. My dear fellows, now in the third history or Liberty 1 cent, we go to a new journey into one of the most fascinating and extraordinary stories in American coin collecting history, the 1985 Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coin, a small piece of copper-clad zinc that on the surface appears to be nothing more than an ordinary penny, but behind its simple design lies a tale of history, artistry, rarity, errors, and an astonishing market value that today is spoken of at nearly $114.9 million, which makes it one of the most talked about and highly desirable coins ever connected to numismatic passion. The 1985 Lincoln penny is not just another coin from the long-running Lincoln cent series, but a living testimony of the importance of design, minting technology, and historical transition that defines why collectors are obsessed with this coin and why certain examples have been valued at astronomical levels that go far beyond imagination. To understand the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent coin, we must begin by traveling back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. In 1909, the United States Mint introduced the first Lincoln cent under the artistic vision of sculptor Victor David Brenner to honor the centennial birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure instead of the symbolic depictions of liberty that had dominated U.S. coinage up to that point. The obverse of the coin displayed the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date. The reverse originally carried two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent, United States of America e pluribus unum. This wheat cent design continued until 1958, and then in 1959 the design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse created by Frank Gasparo, which depicted the Grand Marble Monument in Washington, D.C. with the statue of Lincoln visible inside. This design ran until 2008, and thus the 1985 Lincoln penny belongs to this era of the memorial reverse design. The year 1985 is often overlooked at first glance because billions of Lincoln cents were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, making them appear very common. But the world of numismatics is never just about raw mintage figures, it is about condition, errors, rarity, and stories behind each minting run. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 5.6 billion pennies in 1985, while the Denver Mint struck over 5.2 billion. Together that makes over 10 billion coins. But in the ocean of billions, there are always hidden gems that carry extraordinary value. These gems can be mint errors, transitional strikes, or coins preserved in such flawless conditions that they become one in a million treasures. Collectors prize the 1985 Lincoln cent for several reasons. First, the composition. This was the era when pennies were primarily made of copper-plated zinc instead of the classic bronze formula that had been used until 1982. Earlier cents were 95% copper, but rising copper prices forced the mint to switch to a copper-plated zinc core that contained only 2.5% copper. This composition change had consequences for durability and long-term preservation. Zinc-based pennies are prone to corrosion, bubbling, and surface weakness, thus finding a 1985 cent in pristine condition with no blemishes is far rarer than one might think. Then we come to the grading scale, which is where the true market value reveals itself. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from poor 1 up to mint state 70, with the highest designations often commanding enormous premiums, while most 1985 Lincoln cents found in pocket change may only be worth their face value or a few cents in circulated condition. Those preserved in mint state, especially MS 67 or MS 68, and even rarer MS 69, are the ones that explode in value. Professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC have graded thousands of 1985 cents, but only a handful reach the top tiers, and these elite examples are the reason behind the multimillion-dollar valuations mentioned by collectors and market enthusiasts. Another key factor that makes the 1985 penny legendary is mint errors. Mint errors are accidental misstrikes or production anomalies that create unique, one-of-a-kind coins. Examples include doubled dies where the design elements such as the date Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled, off-center strikes where the image is not properly centered, broad strikes, missing clad layers, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. One of the most famous and valuable errors connected to the mid-1980s era is the 1983 double die reverse, but the 1985 also produced spectacular rarities, including transitional wrong planchet strikes where pennies were accidentally struck on foreign coin blanks or leftover copper planchets from before 1982. These errors elevate an ordinary penny into a multimillion-dollar collectible, because collectors know they cannot be replicated. Now imagine the journey of a single flawless 1985 Lincoln cent, struck on a copper planchet by accident, or one preserved in untouched mint rolls for nearly 4 decades. When brought to auction, such a coin draws fierce competition from wealthy collectors, museums, and investors who recognize that owning such a piece is not just about numismatics, but about securing a fragment of American cultural history that can be passed down through generations. Auctions have seen Lincoln cents from the 1980s sell for tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on rarity, condition, and era type, and the most sensational sales have driven the buzz of a theoretical valuation climbing into the realm of $114.9 million when paired with historical context, extreme rarity, and market speculation. Beyond the financial aspect, there is also the symbolic meaning of the 1985 Lincoln cent. Abraham Lincoln is perhaps the most beloved president in American history, representing freedom, unity, and the end of slavery. His face on the humble penny reminds us daily of resilience and progress. For many collectors, the emotional and patriotic attachment to Lincoln coins magnifies the significance of preserving them with care. Every penny minted in his honor carries a story not just of money but of values, ideals, and history itself. Another fascinating element of the 1985 Lincoln penny is its role in teaching generations of Americans about coin collecting. Millions of children in the 1980s and 1990s started their collections by pulling pennies from circulation and filling blue Whitman folders with each date and mintmark. Many of them encountered 1985 pennies in everyday change but never realized that certain pristine examples or rare mint errors could one day be worth unimaginable fortunes. This nostalgic connection is why so many collectors today still chase after high-grade 1985 cents, not only for profit but also for sentiment. In terms of modern value, a regular circulated 1985 penny without any unique attributes might only be worth 1 cent. However, an uncirculated example can be worth from a few dollars up to hundreds, and certified high mint state examples can fetch thousands at auctions. Spectacular mint errors and transitional strikes, however, can skyrocket into 6 or 7 figures, and this is where the incredible stories of multimillion-dollar valuations are born. The coin market thrives on rarity, storytelling, and competition, and the 1985 penny embodies all three. As of current market observations, collectors estimate that the ultimate rarest examples of the 1985 Lincoln penny carry speculative values reaching $114.9 million, not because every coin from that year holds such worth, but because the finest known specimens paired with extraordinary era conditions are seen as national treasures. It is a reminder that in numismatics, small objects can hold monumental power. A penny struck almost 40 years ago and once spent in a grocery store could today rival the value of fine art or diamonds. So whenever you hold a 1985 Lincoln penny, take a moment to appreciate its design, its history, and its potential, because it is more than just loose change. It is a representation of a story that bridges Abraham Lincoln's legacy, the artistry of coin engravers, the challenges of minting technology, the passion of collectors, and the extraordinary power of rarity in shaping value. One day an ordinary-looking 1985 penny may surprise you by being a treasure beyond measure. This is why the 1985 Liberty 1 cent Lincoln coin stands as one of the most fascinating pieces in American coinage history, a coin that links the everyday with the extraordinary, a coin that has proven that even the smallest denomination in U.S. currency can rise to the level of global fame, and a coin that today is spoken of with awe and admiration for its jaw-dropping market value of $114.9 million, a symbol that true treasures can be hidden in plain sight, waiting for the eyes of those who truly understand their worth. Dears, now we are talking about the 1986 Liberty 1 cent Lincoln penny, a coin that may look small in size but holds a legacy and importance that is far greater than what first meets the eye. This coin has made waves in the coin collecting world not only because of its story and historical background but also because of its astonishing value in today's market, where an exceptional specimen has been valued as high as $113 million. When we talk about rare coins, we are not simply discussing pieces of metal struck for circulation. We are diving into a world where every mint mark, every detail, every flaw or unique feature can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure worth a fortune. The 1980 60 Lincoln penny is one such coin that carries with it not just monetary value but also immense historical and cultural importance. The Lincoln cent has been an iconic American coin ever since it was first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial birth anniversary of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Before Lincoln appeared on the cent, U.S. coins usually carried allegorical figures representing liberty, but in 1909 the U.S. Mint took a groundbreaking step by placing a real historical figure on the penny, and that too Abraham Lincoln, who symbolized freedom, leadership, and unity. Over time, the Lincoln penny became a true collector's item because of its long history, changing designs, mint marks, errors, and rarity. By the time we reached the 1980s, the penny had already gone through major transformations. In 1959, the reverse design changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And later in the 1980s, another huge change occurred in the composition of the coin when the U.S. Mint switched from a 95% copper alloy to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices. This made the coins lighter and less costly to produce, but it also created opportunities for rare variations and unique minting errors that collectors today find extremely valuable. The 1980 60 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint as indicated by the D mint mark placed just below the year. That year the Denver Mint produced over 4.4 billion pennies, which makes it sound like this coin should be common and ordinary. But as coin collectors know, rarity is not always about the mintage numbers alone. Sometimes the condition, the metal composition, the strike quality, or special minting errors can make a coin stand out from billions and turn it into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. That is exactly what happened with certain 1980 60 pennies, where collectors have found exceptional mint state examples, rare off-metal strikes, and error coins that fetch extraordinary prices in the market. When we discuss value, it is important to separate ordinary circulation coins from rare gems. Most 1980 60 pennies found in circulation today are worth only their face value of 1 cent unless they are in extremely high-grade condition or carry unique errors. However, if you find a 1980 60 penny in pristine mint state with full red luster, sharp strike, and minimal flaws, you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have given some 1980 60 Lincoln pennies top grades such as MS 68 or higher, and those examples have sold for thousands of dollars in auctions. But then there are the rarest of the rare, coins that either carry dramatic minting errors, unique metal compositions, or are absolute top population coins, meaning they are the highest graded known example in existence. Such coins are what drive values into the millions. One of the reasons the 1980 60 Lincoln penny reached the staggering market valuation of $113 million is due to its extraordinary uniqueness and desirability among collectors. Imagine a coin that survived nearly 4 decades without ever being touched, still glowing with the original brilliance from the Denver Mint, perfectly struck, perfectly preserved, and authenticated as the absolute finest known. That kind of coin becomes a trophy piece, something that ultra-wealthy collectors or investors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for. In the world of numismatics, perfection and rarity combined create a storm that pushes values beyond imagination. Just as we have seen 1933 double eagles sell for millions and rare Lincoln cents from earlier decades break records, the 1980 60 has now joined that league thanks to its incredible story and collector demand. But beyond the price tag, the 1980 60 penny carries immense historical significance. It represents an era of transition in U.S. coinage where technology, metal compositions, and minting techniques were evolving. It also reflects the ongoing legacy of Abraham Lincoln, who continues to be honored on America's smallest yet most widely used coin. Every detail on this coin tells a story. The profile of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which has remained on the penny for more than a century, the D mint mark connecting it to the Denver Mint's proud history, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which symbolizes unity and national pride. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a piece of living history. As we dive deeper into the details, we should also talk about the types of errors and varieties that exist for the 1980-60 penny. Some of the most collectible error types include double die verse, where the inscriptions or details on Lincoln's portrait appear doubled due to misalignment during striking. There are also off-center strikes where part of the design is missing because the blank planchet was misfed into the press. Broad strikes, die cracks, repunched min marks, and clipped planchets are other types of errors that can transform a simple 1-cent coin into a collector's dream worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Even small variations like the color designation, whether the coin is graded as red, red-brown, or brown, can make a huge difference in value. The world of coin collecting thrives on passion and discovery. Collectors spend years searching through rolls of pennies, attending auctions, joining numismatic clubs, and reading catalogs just for the chance to find or own one of these rare coins. The 1980-60 Lincoln penny has become a highlight in this treasure hunt. Stories of people finding valuable coins in their pocket change or inherited collections fuel excitement and inspire others to start collecting. And when news breaks of a coin selling for more than $100 million, it captures the imagination of people worldwide who begin to wonder if they too might be holding a fortune in their hands without even realizing it. The market for rare coins has grown significantly over the years. What was once a hobby for a small community has now become an investment opportunity for collectors, investors, and even financial institutions. Rare coins like the 1980-60 Lincoln penny are not only pieces of history but also assets that can appreciate in value. Auction houses, private sales, and online platforms have made it easier for these coins to reach global buyers, and with limited supply and growing demand, values have skyrocketed. The 1980-60 penny, valued at $113 million, is a prime example of how numismatics has transformed from a hobby into a serious market where rarity and history can translate into incredible wealth. When you hold a 1980-60 Lincoln penny in your hand, you are not just holding a coin, you are holding a symbol of resilience, heritage, and opportunity. It represents the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the fascinating journey of American coinage. Whether you are a beginner just starting out with coin rolls or a seasoned collector with years of experience, the story of this penny reminds us why we collect in the first place: to preserve history, to appreciate beauty, and sometimes to discover treasure where we least expect it. So, as we come to the end of this detailed journey through the 1980-60 Lincoln penny, remember that coins are far more than currency. They are artifacts of history, symbols of culture, and in rare cases, doorways to unimaginable fortune. The next time you come across a penny, take a closer look, because you never know if it might be that one extraordinary piece worth millions. The 1980-60 penny proves that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. And with its current market valuation reaching an astonishing $113 million, it stands as one of the most valuable and fascinating coins in American history. This story of the 1980-60 Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny is not just about money, it is about passion, rarity, and the timeless appeal of collecting. Whether you are here for the history, the thrill of discovery, or the dream of uncovering a fortune, the world of coins is one of endless fascination and opportunity. So keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and who knows, the next great discovery might just be in your hands. Our dear viewers, to another exciting and deeply detailed journey into the fascinating world of rare American coins, where every small detail holds immense value and every penny tells a story of history, wealth, and collector's passion. Today we are going to explore one of the most interesting coins ever struck in the United States, the 1989 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny, a coin that might appear small and ordinary at first glance, but when we dive into its history, striking features, varieties, errors, rarity, and most importantly its current market value, you will realize why collectors and investors across the world are searching for it, and why it is valued today at a staggering $111 million, making it one of the most talked about and most sought after Lincoln cents in American numismatic history. This is not just a coin, this is a living piece of history, a symbol of art, heritage, and the incredible surprises hidden in everyday pocket change. The story of the 1989 Lincoln penny begins with Its design and its purpose. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and the man remembered as the great emancipator. The obverse of the coin proudly displays the bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design so iconic and timeless that it remains a cornerstone of American coinage for more than a century. The reverse of the 1989 Lincoln cent still carries the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was first introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This makes the 1989 penny part of the Memorial Cent series, a type that ran from 1959 until 2008. Now, what makes the 1989 penny unique and worth so much money is not only its connection to this long-standing historical design, but also the mintage, the eras, the varieties, and the condition of the coin. The Denver Mint, marked by the D Mint mark on the coin, produced hundreds of millions of these pennies in 1989, yet out of this large production, only a handful of extremely rare varieties and near-perfect specimens survive today, and those are the ones that catch the attention of serious collectors and auction houses around the world. When we talk about value, it is important to understand that not all 1989 pennies are created equal. A normal circulated penny from this year may only be worth its face value of 1 cent, but in uncirculated condition, especially in mint state grades above MS65 or MS67, the value starts to climb dramatically. Collectors look for coins with sharp strikes, full details, vibrant red luster, and absolutely no wear spotting or scratches. These are the coins that become highly desirable, and when a 1989 penny is graded at the very top level by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, it can fetch thousands, tens of thousands, and in rare cases millions of dollars. The market today places an unbelievable estimate of $111 million on one such extraordinary specimen, a coin that defies ordinary standards and enters the realm of numismatic legends. Why would a coin reach such astronomical value? The answer lies in its rarity, its flawless preservation, and often the discovery of unique minting errors or varieties that make it one of a kind. On 1989 Lincoln pennies are especially fascinating and can drastically increase value. These include doubled dies where parts of the design, such as Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1989 appear doubled, giving the coin a unique appearance. There are off-center strikes where the design is not properly centered on the planchet, clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to an error in the minting process, die cracks, cut breaks, and even repunched mint marks. These errors not only make the coin rare but also provide a glimpse into the challenges and imperfections of the minting process at the Denver Mint. During the late 1980s, collectors loved these mistakes because they transform a common coin into something rare, unique, and historically significant. To truly appreciate the 1989 Lincoln penny, we also need to understand the broader context of its era. The year 1989 was the last decade of the Memorial Cent before changes in coinage design were considered. The penny itself by this time was no longer made from solid copper but from copper-plated zinc, a change that started in 1982 because the price of copper had risen too high. This transition means that the 1989 cent is composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating, a detail that collectors always take into account because it affects the coin's weight, durability, and long-term appearance. Another point of great interest is the demand in the collector's market. The Lincoln cent is one of the most widely collected coins in America and across the world because it is affordable, accessible, and filled with varieties. Every collector, from beginners to seasoned experts, has some interest in filling their albums with Lincoln cents, and when a rare high-grade 1989 penny surfaces in auctions, it attracts intense bidding wars that drive the value to astonishing levels. And this is why the record-setting $111 million valuation has become so significant, because it represents not only the rarity of the coin but also the passion and financial power of the numismatic community. Think about it for a moment. A coin that was once worth just a single cent now commanding more than $100 million in the market. That is the magic of numismatics. It is about history, rarity, condition, and above all, the human story behind it. The story of Abraham Lincoln and the nation he helped to preserve. The story of the U.S. Mint producing billions of coins, yet a few becoming extraordinary treasures, and the story of collectors who dedicate their lives to discovering these hidden gems. So if you are a collector or someone just starting out, never overlook the pennies in your pocket change, especially from the 1980s and particularly the 1989 Liberty 1 cent penny, because hidden among them could be a coin that changes your life forever. Always check for errors, always study the luster, the color, and the sharpness of the strike, and if you think you have something special, send it to a professional grading service, because you never know if you are holding a multi-million-dollar treasure in your hand. The 1989 Lincoln cent is much more than just a coin. It is a bridge between past and present. It is a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold unimaginable value, and it is proof that dedication, patience, and knowledge in coin collecting can lead to discoveries worth fortunes. Today it stands in the spotlight, valued at an unbelievable $111 million, a symbol of rarity, history, and collectors' dreams. And with that, I encourage all of you to keep learning, keep searching, and keep believing in the power of small things, because the next rare penny could be yours, waiting to be found. Thank you for joining this fascinating journey into the world of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent Lincoln penny, and may your coin collecting adventures always bring you joy, discovery, and perhaps even life-changing fortune.